I'm Camilla from Nashville. Please like and subscribe. I've never had any privacy. Nope, not even in my mother's womb. That's because my 3 sisters shared it with me. It was big news in our town that quadruplets were born. We were even featured in the local newspaper. But the really unusual thing about us was that my sisters were all blonde and blue-eyed, while I was the odd one with red hair, brown eyes, and freckles. And growing up, they always made me feel different. Lucia was the worst. She would always block my face in our family photos. They even had their own triplets club.
It's called TOT, Two Awesome Triplets. No, you can't be part of it, because you're ugly. Maybe I should tutor you sometimes, you MORON. Your spelling stinks. Shut up. Lucia's spelling isn't that bad. It's her math that really stinks. She always gets an F. Her breath stinks too. Yay, I said that first.
Then they both giggled and high-fived. Those 2 were Lucia's minions, and they were so stupid. I complained to Mom about how they were calling me ugly, but she had a strange way of comforting me. Honey, everyone doesn't have to be beautiful. Let them be the pretty ones and find their Prince Charmings and leave one day. Then you and I will have so much fun together. Wait, did she just say I'm ugly too? But it wasn't just them. I'd even hear stuff like this from strangers all the time. Like on our 12th birthday, we were out for dinner at a restaurant when a woman approached Mom and said, "Your triplets are just beautiful. They look like junior supermodels." Oh, and who's this? A niece? Or your maid's kid? So sweet of you to bring her along.
You want to know something sweet?
Try this. I grabbed our birthday cake and rubbed it in her face. Apparently, she was the restaurant manager, and we were immediately thrown out. Over time, I grew more resentful. Mom just soaked up all the praise for my sisters and never told people off for making mean comments about me. Even at school, those 3 were the pretty popular ones, while I was just their ugly, nerdy sister. And all this made me angry. I didn't even know how much anger was building up until one day at school when I saw my test marks were all in single digits. What? I'd always been at the top. My sisters grabbed my report card and laughed like hyenas. I felt furious and walked straight to the teacher. "What have you done, Miss Hans? I can't have such bad grades." "Oh, maybe there's a mistake, Camilla. Let me check." "A mistake? You sure make a lot of mistakes. Like your 3 marriages." I instantly covered my mouth. I really hadn't meant to say that. But of course, I was sent straight to the principal. She made me hold the biggest book in the world and was going on and on about discipline. My hands were hurting and my head was about to burst. "Please, for the love of God, shut up!" Gosh, what was I saying? Mom was called in, and that was my last day in that school. I changed 3 schools by the time I reached 10th grade, thanks to my temper. But on the bright side, I didn't have to be with my sisters anymore. On my first day at my latest school, I swore I'd behave well. But just as I was walking into class, someone ran straight into me, and I fell down. I looked up and saw a pair of mismatched eyes. One green, one blue. "What, you think I'm a freak too? Go on, it's nothing new to me." "No, I wasn't thinking that. I was just wondering, are you blind? Can't you see where you're going?" Whoa. You're gonna talk rude to me? I'm not letting you inside the class today." And he stretched both his hands and legs and blocked the doorway. I tried pushing past him, but I couldn't, so I pulled his leg and brought him down, and then jumped on him. We were fighting like cats when suddenly the noisy class became quiet, and I saw the teacher standing near us. We were both given a week's detention, and there I found out that he was Victor, a foreign exchange student from Georgia. That incident on the first day made the whole class fear me. They barely even talked to me. It felt good at first, but then I started feeling lonely. "Hey, I see you're always sitting alone at lunch. And, well, I do too. Care to join me?" "Oh, poor you. Not many friends, huh? I'll think about it." "Fine, I've decided, since you're begging. Okay, let's meet at lunch." And after that, we did, every day. We became good friends as time passed, and people would even call us the weirdo couple. But we weren't a couple, because I always had my eyes on the school's popular jock, Peter. I even took up French for him, but he just never seemed to notice me. One day when Victor and I were at lunch, Peter stopped by our table. OMG, Was this really happening?
Hey, Cabello, right? Here's your pen. It fell from your table when you left.
Oh, okay, thanks. Peter, right? You're a lifesaver. I mean, a pen saver. I just, so you know, it's Camilla. I mean, I'm Camilla, but it's fine. You can call me Cabello. It's just a confusing name. He gave a short smile and left.
What was that? You looked like a tomato and sounded like an idiot.
Don't laugh at me like you have a million girlfriends. I admit, I have a huge crush on him. And I'm really trying, man. In French class, I stand up and answer every question, but he doesn't even look at me.
You think he'll see you as a total nerd and then ask you out? Not a chance.
Why not? Don't guys like smart girls?
Clearly, you know nothing. You badly need some lessons from me. I know how to impress a guy.
I didn't know you were gay. That actually explains a lot.
Oh, shut up. Meet me at the bleachers, 5 p.m. sharp.
Well, after all my failed efforts, maybe I could try some of Victor's tips. And so our classes began. But some things he were teaching me were nonsense. And they kinda worked. Peter came over and talked to me one day.
Hey, someone was telling me you're really good in math, and I was wondering, could you tutor me? I really need some help.
This was perfect. We hung out every day in the library for the next 2 weeks, and he was so happy when he finally got a B. And then he asked me out. And of course I said yes. It was going to be my first date, so I needed Victor's expert advice.
Just look amazed at everything he says, and laugh extra hard at his lame jokes. Oh, and keep touching his arm every 2 minutes, and keep batting your eyelashes.
Ew, really?
You think that's gonna work?
Fine. Let's get him. I was so excited that I even told Mom all about Peter.
Oh, Camilla, I can't believe you finally have a boyfriend. Wow, miracles really can happen, darling.
I could tell she was really shocked, but this one time, I couldn't get angry at her because I was so in love. I smiled and walked off into my room. Why are you grinning like an idiot? Oh, yeah, I have some news, you dumb triplets. I've got a boyfriend, and not just any boy, the most popular boy in school. We're going on a date this weekend. A boyfriend? I'm sure he's an imaginary one. Yeah, you being the ugliest, you don't stand a chance. 'Cause even Lucia had to beg every boy in school to be her boyfriend. Yeah, but they all dumped her in front of everyone. All 3 did. You're gonna be single forever, baby. Mean, stupid idiots. I just ignored them and went back to Peter dreams. The next day at school, I saw Peter walking down the corridor, and I caught up with him and took his hand. But he just shook it off. I felt shocked, but before I could say anything, we were already inside the classroom, and he didn't even sit anywhere close to me. I caught him alone at the end of class. What was that? You brushed off my hand? You didn't sit next to me? Are we dating or what?
Of course we are, babe. I just don't like public displays of affection. I'm shy that way. But we're alone now.
And suddenly he drew me close and kissed me gently on the lips. The weekend arrived soon, and Peter took me to watch his favorite movie. As we were coming out of the theater holding hands, I spotted some kids from school. Hey, Peter, they play basketball with you, right? Let's go say hi.
Oh, God, they're coming this way.
And suddenly, he pushed me behind a big potted plant. What the heck? I saw him walk forward to meet the guys, and then he just left with them. I felt so stupid and so mad. I wouldn't even look at his face in school the next day. And then suddenly, he pulled me into an empty classroom. What do you want with me now, Peter?
Listen, I'm sorry about last night. I kind of panicked. I really like you, Camilla, but do we have to announce that we're dating?
Why not? Go on. Say it.
Well, you and I are just really different.
You mean you're a popular jock and I'm some weird nerdy girl, right?
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to.
Look, we can just pretend to be friends in school and date outside, okay?
I pushed him back really hard. No, not okay. I don't want to date a brainless, heartless loser. Get lost. I walked out of there in angry tears, and Victor caught up with me.
Camilla, you're crying? Did Peter say something? I'm gonna break his...
No, just stop. I was an idiot chasing someone like him when I know who I am. I'm the girl who gets good grades and who says whatever comes in her head, and boys wouldn't mind being friends with me, but they don't want to be my boyfriend. I'm not pretty, and I never will be.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard you say.
He's a jerk, and you're perfect, just as you are.
You're smart and funny and pretty. I've thought that since the first day I met you.
Suddenly, he stopped short and dropped my hand, his face all red. Victor, do you like me?
I don't know. Maybe. It doesn't matter. I know you'll never see me like that. And it's for the best, because I'll be going away soon anyway.
Saying that, he walked away, and I felt stunned. How did I not see Victor's feelings for me? And he was such a great guy, and I'd been too stupid to see that too. But there wasn't much point thinking about it, because our graduation was 2 weeks later, and he left for Georgia. That evening, I was feeling so upset that I'd totally forgotten about the stupid dinner Mom was having for Lucia's boyfriend. But when I saw who it was, I nearly had a stroke. Lucia was with freaking around each other. Congratulations! I stormed off to my room and slammed the door shut. Unbelievable! I just avoided my family and got busy with college applications. And I even applied to the university in Georgia I knew Victor was going to attend. I was overjoyed when I got in on a full scholarship. I went excitedly to tell Mom, but Lucia was already there with her news. Peter had proposed to her, and they were getting married soon. I thought Mom would never agree to her getting married so young, but I was shocked.
This is the best news I've ever heard. That Peter is so nice, so rich. He'll be such a nice husband. You'll live like the princess that you are, my darling.
No! This is crazy! Lucia, you can't marry this guy. I'm telling you, he's not a good person. Did somebody ask you? I wasn't even planning on inviting you to the wedding. Just stop being so angry and jealous all the time.
Yes, Camilla. Be happy for your sister. It's okay if they all get married and you stay single. Your mommy is here for you.
That's enough, Mom. I'm not jealous of my sisters. You've always told me a million ways that I'm not as pretty as them, and I'll never be good enough for any boy. But you know what? I like me. And there is a boy who thinks I'm pretty and perfect. He's better than all the Peters in the world, and I'm going to him now. A week later, I'd packed my bags and left for Georgia. When I went to university on the first day, I searched all over campus for Victor, and I found him at last in the cafeteria.
Sitting alone here too? Pathetic. Camilla, oh my God, you didn't tell me.
And then he hugged me tight. It was the best feeling in the world. We started dating, and I'd never been happier. Right after we graduated college, he proposed to me. I called Mom to tell her my good news, and then she told me that Lucia had left Peter and was moving back with her.
You were right all along, Camilla. We didn't listen to you.
Peter turned out to be the worst husband ever. He just left her with 2 kids for another woman. I felt really sad to hear that. Lucia and I had never gotten along, but I'd never wanted her to be unhappy. She was my sister.
You tried to warn her, love. I guess she just had to learn her lesson the hard way. Maybe it's time you went back to America and visited your family. I'll come with you if you want.
I think I'd really love to unwrap my present.
Seriously? You actually thought I'd wear this cheap thing?
And he threw it on the ground and stepped on it as he walked away. Feeling humiliated, I ran away from the party as fast as my trembling legs could take me. That day, I swore to myself that I'd also be rich one day, no matter what. So I studied my butt off to get into university, and soon after I graduated, I landed my first job as a financial analyst in a big company. One day we had a meeting with the boss where I was supposed to make an important presentation. I was nervous because I'd heard that our boss was a no-nonsense man. I was in the elevator rehearsing my presentation when a man in his 30s walked in talking on his phone. He was tall, handsome, and he had kind eyes. He hardly looked my way, but suddenly the elevator came to a standstill and the lights went out, and I panicked. I'm claustrophobic. Please, call security quickly. I need to get out of here.
Hey, relax. The power just went out. It should be back on soon.
And when it turned on a few seconds later, I realized I was standing right next to the man, holding onto his arm for dear life. He also looked down into my eyes, and it felt as if time had stopped. Just then the elevator doors opened, and we came out of our trance. I mumbled an apology and rushed to my meeting. Thankfully, the boss hadn't arrived yet. But when he did, my jaw dropped to the ground. It was the elevator guy. He looked a little startled when he saw me, but then he pretended as if we'd never met before. I began my presentation, and my ideas impressed everyone, except the boss. He kept shooting question after question at me. By the time he was done, I felt like I was some criminal coming out of interrogation. The next few weeks at the office, he'd just walk by me like I didn't exist. I found out his name was George, and he'd taken over the company from his father when he was just 25. I was sure he was very smart, but so was I, and I was here to prove myself. So when I was asked to present in a meeting again, I worked even harder to make sure everything was perfect. But he just kept finding faults with my figures and statistics, and finally said, "I don't think this will work. I need a better plan by next week." I was fuming as he left, and a couple of hours later, I went to his office. "Sir, I just rechecked the figures, and they're all correct. I don't know why, but I feel like you just have some problem with me."
And what problem would that be? Maybe your work just isn't good enough?
Well, I'm confident that it is.
I checked your employee file. You didn't go to any top business school in the country. In fact, your university isn't even top 10.
It's what I could afford with a scholarship. Not everyone is just born a millionaire. Sir, I regretted the words as soon as I said them, but I felt too proud to apologize. He got a phone call just then and ran out of there. I was